What's up? It's Trey Harris here, wide receiver for Los Angeles Chargers. And you're tuning in to Chargers Unleashed.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. This is your first time tuning in the show. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein. It's never a dull moment. Dramatics are never in short supply when it comes to a Chargers game on Sunday. And holy shit, did Justin Herbert have some dramatics in the final 49 seconds of this game. Woo! Chargers go on the road and in dramatic fashion defeat the Miami Dolphins 29-27 on the back of a Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey magical connection to set them up for the game-winning field goal. Dan, this was a very back and forth type of game. There was good things and bad things to take away from it. But at the end of the day, hey, we talked about it before this past Saturday on the live show. Whatever it takes. Didn't even matter if it was an ugly win. The Chargers just had to find a way to get back in the win column after the last two disappointing weeks from them. And they found a way to do it. Dan Wolkenstein, what a game.
What a relief. What a performance by Justin Herbert, and taking on that Superman persona again at the end when it mattered most. That is why you pay your franchise quarterback that much money, to overcome all of the obstacles, to overcome all of the headwinds, all of the excuses, all the setbacks, all of the mistakes. You still find a way. Justin Herbert just did that. Ladd McConkey, welcome back. Aronde Gadsden, welcome to the show. Kamani Vidal, take a bow. We got Chargers Unleashed hotline going crazy after this win. So if you want to call in, you can be part of the show anytime. 323-902-7586. Chargers escape with a victory. Again, it doesn't matter. A win is a win is a win. Lots of lessons to learn from this. But all that matters right now is you have an MVP caliber player doing MVP caliber things, winning games for you when it matters most. And this Chargers team found a way. No Denzel Perryman. No Khalil Mack. No Quentin Johnston. No Joe Alt. No Rashawn Slater. No Amarian Hampton. No Najee Harris.
No Sawyer.
You can keep going. No Trey Pipkins. I mean, keep it going. They found a way to win. It is hard to win in the NFL. Was looking pretty there at the end. They pulled it off. This is a fun one. So excited to be talking about a win. 4-2. Chargers escape the victory. Still remain atop the AFC West. Now 4 AFC division wins this season. All 4 of their wins coming in the AFC. Woo! Feels good, Jake. I did not sleep great tonight. Some of it was because I was excited about this Chargers victory. Some of it was because my little child decided not to sleep well. Shout out to Street Progression. But Jake, let's talk about our friends over at Sleeper, who hopefully earned some folks some cold, hard cash this past football Sunday.
Definitely. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football with Sleeper. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson. Sorry, Lamar Jackson, not lately because he hasn't played. So let's talk about maybe Ladd McConkey in that circumstance. Pick on these stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you could win big. Just use the promo code ChargersLAFB and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently operating in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Charger Unleashed hotline went crazy. And after a victory, the vibes were immaculate. We had literally, Jake, 25 voicemails. Not a chance in hell we're going to be able to get to all of them. So what we're going to try to do is sprinkle them through this episode and next to keep the vibes up. So we'll put those out throughout the episodes this week. Jake, where do you want to start? Other than before all of that, I have to ask, How are you? How are you feeling after that? Sweat from the brow is gone.
Man, I texted you after the Dolphins came back from 2 scores down in the fourth quarter. And I think it was just before, maybe two plays before Darren Waller gets that touchdown. I texted you and I said, we're really going to allow this to happen, aren't we? It just didn't seem right considering how the Chargers came out and looked in the third quarter. They looked fantastic. They looked efficient. They were playing complimentary football. They came down and scored 17 unanswered points to go up by 13 in the fourth quarter. And then your defense, very uncharacteristically, lets the Dolphins just waltz back down the field twice and score 2 touchdowns and take a 1-point lead. And then 49 seconds on the clock. And then Justin fucking Herbert happens.
49 seconds, but a loss ain't one.
Crazy last final sequences. Yeah, it was a whirlwind. And then to hear the comments afterward from Ladd, comments from Coach Jim Harbaugh shortly afterwards saying that play is going to be seared into my brain when they throw dirt on top of me. Just, again, elite quotes that you have from the coach in that circumstance. But again, this is what's been essentially the Chargers' Achilles heel over the last 3 weeks with their offensive line. The Chargers have been put in the same position over the last 3 weeks. Thankfully, in the Denver game, they were able to overcome it with, again, more Justin Herbert magic. But you've seen it the last 2 weeks with the Giants and Commanders. If they get the Chargers in a compromising position where they're second and long or third and long, they are going to bring the house.
Or first and long.
As I have mentioned before on the show, teams are not afraid to blitz Justin Herbert anymore because that win percentage rate has gone down. And literally, Justin Herbert had to wrestle himself out of a potential sack from Jordan Phillips.
Twice.
Switch ball hands just to get free. And to find Ladd McConkey in the flat for a 42-yard gain that he had to do some of his own magic to even make that happen. But there's a couple other players that we'll highlight on that play as well that really stepped up. It's just, there's so much to encompass from this game. Again, inconsistencies, what have you. Cameron Dicker stepping up in a big way. Whatever it was, you have wins like this. Fortitude, grit, whatever it takes. The Chargers found a way to improve to 4-2. And that's what really should be highlighted today.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that did not go well in that game. And a lot of it shouldn't be a surprise, right? I went into this game not expecting this Chargers offensive line to be great. And they weren't.
Nobody should have.
But I think they played better than folks expected
it's
at times.
The best that they've played in a month.
Especially considering who's actually playing.
Yeah, which is wild.
Tucker Fitz coming back, huge ad. Will Dissly, huge ad in the blocking game.
Very huge.
The running game, we talked about balance needing to be apparent for this Chargers team to have a chance. It was. So there's a lot to unpack here. Jake, let's start with these voicemails. Let's keep these vibes at 100. First voicemail, again, 323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. You can call in anytime. First voicemail, let's hear what they got to say after Chargers dub.
Woo-hoo! It feels good to hear that enthusiasm again.
Feels good. Doesn't it feel good to have that as the vibe on a Monday? Victory Monday, by the way.
I mean, look, I'm never going to glaze the, not going to lie, we look like dog crap voicemails because that goes in the Hall of Records for the Chargers Unleashed. But yes, it's great to get this type of enthusiasm back.
Yeah. How about that Ladd McConkey?
Ladini?
Yeah. Our O-line? Yeah, we need some help. We need some help really bad. But the boys pulled through. 8 different receivers, all putting their little touch in there. Come on, guys. That's what we needed. And we barely pulled it out. And what about Dicker the kicker?
Big Dicker energy. We'll talk about him. But the dude is nails. And I remember like it was yesterday, all of the pain and suffering and torture we have had to endure about the kicker situation over the years. Did anybody have a doubt? I was a little nervous just because of the magnitude, but did anybody actually have a doubt?
Dan, the crazy part about the game that Cameron Dicker had is tack on the field goal that didn't even actually count, considering that the Dolphins jumped off sides and kept that drive going. A casual 58-yard field goal would have been good on that first drive.
For like
just
60
nailed
would have been
it.
good.
Nailed it.
Dude, absolute nails.
Yeah. Okay, this is Tom calling from Chicago. The Chicago Pride. Love it.
Chargers fans in Chicago.
Shout out.
Got to dig it.
Shout out. Next voicemail real quick.
Oh, shit, boys. What a frickin' nail biter. I must have.
Dude, how long are your nails right now?
Oh, dude. First of all, I have a complex, so they're never really long anyways. But yeah, they were bitten. They were bitten yesterday, I'll admit.
3 or 4 heart attacks during that game.
It's not a Chargers game. Without a heart attack.
I can't believe it. If Justin Herbert was a slot machine, man, he would pay out in silver dollars. This team needs some help, though, man. I decided to take a drink, a shot, or a beer every time Justin Herbert got pressure. Never stopped drinking, never put my beer down.
You be blackout.
Whoa.
Probably going to need to go to the hospital after this one. Not too sure. Anyways, man, this team needs some serious help. We are in trouble the next few weeks. We could barely beat Miami. That's pretty sad. I don't know what to say. Go Chargers.
First of all, drink responsibly. So hopefully you didn't go to the hospital. Hopefully you did everything safely. Yeah, Dan, that is going to be a question that obviously we'll get into, especially this coming week with the Colts coming to town. And it is a very big test for the Chargers, all things considered here over the last month, when you've seen the way that they played for the first 3 weeks, and then essentially just how they have, even with a win against the Dolphins, how they have just really regressed, not only just offensively because of their offensive line, not only because of the fact that they didn't have their starting running backs and Najee Harris and Omari and Hampton, but defensively and special teams. Not so much yesterday from special teams, because special teams really tightened the screws. But these are factors that you felt with Jesse Minter and Ryan Fitkin at coaching those specific elements of the team that you could lean on in tough situations. And even yesterday in the fourth quarter, you had some really bad letdowns defensively that allowed big time completions. That final drive from Tua, he was 8 for 8. He was doing, if all criticism aside from Tua, one thing that he has done efficiently since he's been in the league is get the ball out fast. And that's something that I felt that the Chargers actually finally started doing with Justin Herbert in the third quarter, given the fact that they didn't have an offensive line to negate any of that pressure.
We'll talk about adjustments here in a bit, because the first half versus the second half look different.
Oof. But now you have the Indianapolis Colts coming to town with Jonathan Taylor, who is setting the world on fire as RB1, especially from a fantasy perspective. You saw once again that the Chargers cannot hold the edge. Devon Achane had his first 100-yard game yesterday of the season, of course. Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren, Downs, they've got weapons. It might be strangely enough to say, from the Indianapolis Colts, it may be the most loaded offense that the Chargers have faced this season.
Wait, aside from the Colts?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to say, like, even speaking of, like, just it being the Colts.
Oh yes, yeah.
Considering the fact that you played the Chiefs, the Broncos, Giants, the Redskins, again, but they didn't have their top guys. The Colts are not missing any of their weapons.
And Daniel Jones all of a sudden is like MVP caliber playing.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
So you need to reach back defensively to weeks 1 and 2 if you're hoping to come out of this next coming game with a victory. It's going to be a tough test.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about, and real quick, again, like, it was not all good. Right, like there were some good, right? Owe comes in, first series, gets his first sack, amazing. Yep. Tony Jefferson, one of your X factors, Jake, gets his interception. Thule
got his 5th sack of the season.
Thule's on a heater right now. Derwin gets an interception. Benjamin St. Juice, Derwin should have 2. Yes, you're right.
Yes,
but you mentioned it. Some of the containment. The run defense was not good, especially on the outside. I think there's some outside zones that just absolutely crippled them. And I know Devon Achane is insanely fast, but you knew that going in. Like, none of this is a surprise. And they made some of that stuff look easy. So some of the defense, not great, right? But what you and I talked about, like if you make Tua beat you, I trust Jesse Minter to confuse enough to bring in mistakes. And you saw it, right? Like first drive, interception, last drive, interception. And that's kind of what Jesse Minter does. But we talked about, like, you can't let them have easy scores, like explosive, huge explosives, right? Like, and of course, some of it's luck, like the Jalen Waddle ridiculously deep pass that somehow he catches on the sideline, bobbling. All right. But like the Achane runs, like you can't do that. You can't allow bad teams to have explosive, easy, quote unquote, touchdowns. But overall, again, like I think the part that some folks are missing is, yes, that is a 1 in 5 Dolphins team. And they did not have Waddle. Or excuse me, did not have Tyreek Hill. But you're also a 4-2 Chargers team that looks nothing like what it was to start the season. We talked about the laundry list of guys who are not playing. Like that roster was not a 4-2 roster that went out there. And they found a way because they have a coaching, they have a quarterback, and they've got superstars making superstar plays. That roster did not have your starting 2 running backs, your top productive wide receiver. You didn't have your fullback. You didn't have your number 1 edge. You didn't have your linebacker 2. You didn't have so many dudes in this game. And yet you found a way. You found a way. So, yes, against a bad football team, you barely won, sure. But your roster is not reflected of 4-2 right now. So you're just trying to hold on. Daniel Popper put out like a great analogy of like the waves just keep coming and you keep getting pushed underwater. And Justin Herbert was that life vest, right? Like he was the thing that got him over. And we talked about it in the pregame show, Jake. Like this was a kind of game where it was going to be kind of ugly, but Justin's going to have to figure out a way to just say, doesn't matter, and overcome it. And so there was good and bad from this defense and from the offense. But winning in the NFL is hard, man. And they won. Period.
Next voicemail, Dan. I know we got a lot of them.
We do. Again, 323-902-7586, number of the hotline. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
How's it going, guys? Great win today. It was a little tricky there for a second. Justin Herbert, just a beast. And how about that new stat for Keenan Allen? Got the 400-400 club. Let's go, brother. Making your own history. Bolt up.
Yeah, Dan. With Quentin Johnson out yesterday, your most productive receiver coming into this game, you knew you were going to have guys like Keenan Allen show his vintage Keenan Allen, what he's about, especially when it came to third down. Big-time third down catches from Keenan Allen in this game. Obviously, Ladd McConkey going for 100 yards, his best production of the entire season thus far in a big, big way. Dan, I loved what I saw from Trey Harris. Even if you just take it in a microcosm for Quentin Johnson being out, I love not only what I saw from him in the receiving game, but blocking as well.
I know it didn't count, but that Trey Harris catch that Justin threw on the sideline, the deep one, that he was just out of bounds.
Oh, it was a very impressive one, only if he was just, that much closer to the sideline where his toes could have been in bounds.
But like those are the catches that you're like, why are we throwing those to Quentin in the past, right? Like those are the ones you're like, that is what Trey Harris was brought in for. And you see the hands on that play. The ball is a little outside to where he couldn't get it, but dude, Trey Harris with a spin move, like he looks like he belongs, man. He just needs a shot.
May give him some more snaps and more looks his direction after that one.
Yeah, and I apologize, Jake. You were bringing up OG too. Go ahead.
Yes, Oronde Gadsden, even after his fumble in the Chargers' second offensive possession, didn't matter. Justin Herbert went back to him for 7 more catches that were big time for a lot of their scoring drives. Everybody got involved. When you needed everyone to step up, they did it. Dan, we came into this game we couldn't really speak on what the Chargers' run game was going to look like. Because essentially it was going to be Kamani Vidal, Hassan Haskins, and Naheem Hines-Miller. And thankfully, every single one of them stepped up and contributed for this one. Obviously, Kamani Vidal headlining everything with his over 100 yards rushing in the game, which was extremely impressive given the fact that the offensive line that he was running behind. Hassan Haskins stepped in on short yardage work and came up big on that Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey connection.
Don't you look at the box score only, because
I highlighted this on Twitter, Dan, because not only does he crack 2 blocks on that one, number one, helping out Austin Deculus on the pressure on the left side, but in total, we know that was a 42-yard pass from Justin Herbert to Ladd McConkey. Go back and watch Hassan Haskins. The ground that he covers in total, in addition to the 5 yards backwards he has to do for the first block, he covers 47 yards on that play.
He was the first and the last block.
Yes. Crazy.
That last block
effort.
and that effort gave them, another 20 yards?
Yes. And then 3 plays before this, Naheem Hines-Miller gets the kickoff that sets them up at their own 40. Just contributions all the way around.
Absolutely unreal. And Kamani Vidal was a savior for this Chargers team. They don't win that game if they don't have that performance. And for as much flack as we give this Chargers offensive line, what I noticed for the first time, and again, it's not just the offensive line. Like, this is why I think Tucker Fisk and Disley are huge additions. But you see on those runs that were leaked through for the offensive line, like, they actually had some run lanes for Kamani. And you see Zion Johnson chugging at the second and third levels. Go back to that catch and run by Ladd. Zion Johnson is running right there with him. I mean, he looked like the Hulk running. That's what it looked like. But this run blocking game specific, and I'm not even looking at the PFF stats, like the eye test. You're seeing lanes, not all the time, but you're seeing glimpses of like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. But you're right. The collective support group, right? Kamani Vidal, Hassan Haskins, Aronda Gaston, Trey Harris. You saw Kendra Lambert-Smith. Let's talk about special teams for a second.
Yes.
Talk about Cameron Dicker. J.K. Scott saved the game at the very end with that snap.
I held my breath on that, Dan, because I saw that go all the way behind him. I'm like, oh, shit.
I puckered up.
I didn't know if that second delay was going to cause someone to be able to come in to block the field goal. But, wow.
Let's talk about some of these tackles that you saw on special teams.
Oh, yeah.
Del'Shawn Phillips. Arguably the special teams tackle of the year with the straight up edge. I mean, I haven't seen a tackle like that in days. Absolutely cracked him. Jasir Taylor, 2 special teams tackles. I think it was a Boygby also who came in.
Boygby came in huge. Yes.
For the most part, special teams.
It got back to, outside of that, right. Call it the first kickoff that you allowed the Dolphins to start from their own 40. Thankfully, one play later, it was intercepted by Tony Jefferson. But still, outside of that, Ryan Ficken said, I've had enough. I have had enough. And the players listened.
They needed it. And we talk about the middle 8 a lot. And we're wondering, we've kind of given Ladd his flowers. But if folks go back and watch that opening touchdown to start the third quarter, it felt to me watching that Ladd was impressive on both ends. Clearly, got the catch, had a great game. But that felt like Ladd McConkey was hunting with and for Justin Herbert to find the clearing in that second phase of the play. It looked like it was just him and Justin, him just finding a spot. I mean, he's going full speed the whole time. And you see the play break down, shifting around the corner. That was, to me, that's that chemistry stuff that you just can't teach. And Ladd was not going to be denied on that play. Huge. And what I liked most about that, capitalizing This Chargers team capitalized on mistakes. You saw interception turn into touchdowns. They took advantage of these opportunities. Now, again, the defense on that last drive, how he was that open in the end zone. It looked like someone was trying to do more than their job in the secondary. Not going to name names. But Waller cannot be that open in the red zone when you're already in the red zone. But look, they did what they needed to do, and they had their best for when their best was needed. And literally, Jake, it was ironic because you and I talked about it on the last show. I said, I don't think this Chargers team is going to win pretty, and you're going to have to see Justin pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Yep.
And he literally did twice, back-to-back plays. Everyone's talking about that last play to Ladd, but the play before that, that's a sack for 30 other quarterbacks. And he somehow got it away. Again, 40-something seconds. I don't think they had any timeouts left. You get
Still
sacked
had one
there.
timeout at that point.
You get sacked there. That's like second and whatever, 18. It's a whole different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins knew. They had the script. They watched the film. They did everything right. They blasted the offensive line. They got to Justin Herbert. Should have been sacked. Somehow was not the first time. Somehow got out, threw it away. Second play. Should have been sacked by 2 people. Somehow got away. You talk about the juggling act. Got away. Like, literally pulled the rabbit out of the hat. And yes, Ladd did the rest, which Dolphins fans, Raiders fans, they're like the Spider-Man meme right now about like the Olay that Ladd McConkey does to them. Ladd did that to the Raiders for that easy touchdown last year. The Ladd stuff was pretty, but Justin saved the game twice just by getting the ball out because the Dolphins did exactly what they needed to do. They just couldn't finish, and Justin was not going to be denied. Next voicemail, Jake. Got a lot of these. This is fun. Next voicemail. Let's hear what they got to say.
Jim Harbaugh in the post-game reaction. Hercules, 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 Herbert is Hercules. That play will be burned in my mind till they put dirt on my head. Jim Harbaugh.
Until they put dirt on my head. Great
Jim
quote.
Harbaugh, one of a kind.
Great quote. You mentioned that at the top. Yeah. Oh, these voicemails are great. Let's keep it rolling.
Dan, Jake.
Oh boy.
Whoop.
All right. Dan, I think he's coming after you. Not that he have any particular reason, but I'm just going to bet money saying he's going to come after you.
But so if it's my fault that they lose,
whose fault is it that you win?
You're welcome.
All of a sudden, Dan Wolkenstein is the GM, the head coach, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the offensive line, the running back, the defense, everybody.
And Vegas. You're welcome.
Yes.
You are welcome. Here all week.
This is FCM.
Got it.
I only have one question.
What's the question?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
Like, how do you like me now, Dan Wolkenstein? Or
Who the fuck says
Woo!
field goal does not win football game?
All right, shout out to Cameron Dicker. 5 for 5, 6 for 6, for being honest.
All count, especially early in the game. People need to stop talking about field goals don't not win the fucking game.
Well, hold on. I'll let this play through, then I'll chat.
Let's go, baby. We're on our way to Indianapolis. Let's go.
I mean, I remember when Dustin Hopkins on one leg single-handedly won the game for the Chargers, and he had to go out there and literally had to go. I think it was after he got injured, he had to go out and kick 3 additional field goals that ended up going through. I mean, that was hero stuff right there. I don't think anybody's ever said that field goals don't win games. You could talk to the New England Patriots about that. You could talk to the Kansas City Chiefs about that. I don't think everybody's ever said that. But when you have a kicker that is just as big dick energy that he is in such a casual way, to go out there and totally calm, nail a 58-yard field goal that doesn't even matter because of a defense, offsides, and it continues to drive from there. Dan, he's single-handedly helped win the Chargers 2 games this season already, and it's been on his back. Obviously, Justin Herbert has to make certain plays in order to get him in a position to win. But you and I have talked about this offline, and nobody has forgotten this for anybody that's been following this franchise. How long has it felt that we have been searching for a kicker that has this type of juice?
Energy.
Yes. We've lived through the Michael Badgeleys and the Younghoe Koos before they were on their respective other teams. We lived through the Dustin Hopkins. We lived through the Nick Novak when he was Novacking on the sideline for a certain break that he had to take for himself. I remember those days. And that was a power move, by the way. That's real player stuff. You don't say, hey, I got to go to the locker room real quick. No, you figure it out and do whatever it takes to do it on the field. But, Dan, you just talk about nails. Nails. Cameron Dicker has been one of the most efficient weapons for the Chargers that, I mean, it's a short list to find someone who has not been as efficient as he is, whether it's in his own position or just any player in general. It's really hard to find someone who you can rely on in big-time situations like this.
Don't look now. 14 for 14 on the year, Cameron Dicker. 100%, by the way. Not too shabby.
Pretty damn good.
Now, I will push back a little bit. You do not win many NFL games when you go 2 for 7 in the red zone.
No.
And I think you were 0 for 6, if I remember right, in the first half on third down.
To make that
1 for 7. 1 for 7.
To make that even bigger, down on the season, the Chargers were 5 for 15 in their red zone trips.
You don't win many football games when you go 5 for 15, or in this case, 2 for 7. Now, you're lucky you went up against a Miami Dolphins team and your defense bailed you out with 3 interceptions. But imagine this game if they went 4 for 7. This game was over at halftime. So, yes, you can still win, but man, that mountain is steep when you continuously give your opponent momentum and a chance. You take 2 of those field goals and supplement those for touchdowns, that's 8 more points. This game is a wrap. That whole last sequence wouldn't have even happened. I've been kneel down city. So, yes, they matter, but touchdowns matter more. You can still win with field goals, but you can win easier when you got touchdowns. So they got to clean that up. And the part that I don't understand, honestly, was like, I feel like they changed the game plan once they got to the red zone. Like, what got you all of the success was Justin, right? Was Justin and the offensive line and tight ends blocking for short passes, like thing going fast. You don't have your running backs right now. Like, you can't expect Najee Harris gone, Amari Hampton gone. You can't expect Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins to go up against that front with your current offensive line when everyone knows you're running. That's just hard to do. And how do they score their touchdowns in the red zone? You saw that one to Kamani Vidal in the flat, throw by Justin. You saw Justin roll out on the bootleg, throw to Ladd. That's how they win. But it felt like so often they just tried to jam it. You just don't got the dudes for it right now. So for the most part, what I commend Greg Roman for, especially in that second half, was you started to see like, all right, you know what? We're not going to be putting the square peg around hole anymore. You saw some tight formations where you saw big dudes up there making sure that Justin at least tried to stay clean. And again, with the separators they have on this team, with Keenan and with Ladd, like, you don't need to go 5 wide. You don't need to spread them out like that. Like, those guys will separate if you give Justin time.
The crazy part about this is, Dan, is that, remember how we were talking about live show night before the game? We didn't want to see Justin Herbert once again throwing the ball 40 plus times. Well, he threw it 38. Only this time he was a hell of a lot more efficient, especially in the second half. 29 to 38, 264, 2 touchdowns. Only ended up taking 1 sack.
Yeah, and that number is different because they got 3 more possessions because of their defense.
Yes.
But again, like we talked about balance. That was what was important. And yes, he had 38 attempts, but you also had 25 runs as well in that game. So it wasn't Justin throwing 40 times and them having 10 carries.
Correct. Wasn't
Miami Dolphins had 18 for $124. Hassan Haskins had 6 carries. Justin had a carry of his own. Like, it was a balanced team. So that was huge. I mean, that's a huge, huge win. Some little kind of notes that I had throughout. I mean, the first half was hard to watch at times, man.
Yes, it was.
The Chargers offensive line was not great. Like, it kind of felt like a tale of two halves to me. Because that first half, that was tough, man. Like, they couldn't finish. They could not finish. And you see Justin kind of getting lit up a little bit. And again, like, the guy is Superman, so he just keeps getting up. But, like, that's hard to put a toll on him like that. The defense, you saw, like, those explosive runs given up. They got lucky on that first interception. Again, but you make your own luck. Tony Jefferson came down with it. Shout out to Unc. But that second half was a different team for a while. And that's what ultimately got the team the victory. Let's talk about the protection here for a bit, Jake. PFF stats came out. Pass blocking. Zion Johnson led the way, 77.2. Will Dissly, 72.9.
Man,
Tucker
it feels
Fisk.
Good to have Dissly back, doesn't it?
Yeah, we talked about how important Dissly and Fisk were. Both of those guys. They were 2 of the 5 players the Chargers had in the green for pass blocking this week. That's important. Rondé Gadsden in the green, Tucker Fisk in the green, Will Dissly in the green. 3 tight ends were your pass blockers in the green. Then you had Zion Johnson and Hassan Haskins. So one offensive lineman in the green. Bobby Hart, Austin Deckles, 60.5 and 56 collectively. Mekhi Becton, not great, 49.3. Bradley Bozeman, 24.9. Not great. Not great at all.
Man, I didn't know who I felt embarrassed for. In that first quarter, when Bobby Hart gets called on a false start.
Oh, man. They lit him up.
And then essentially just stops playing. And I can't remember if it may have been Phillips that actually just still came through on the play because the whistle hadn't blown yet and just nailed Justin Herbert just to get a free shot. And it's still a false start and brings it back. That was an extremely bad look. But again, we're talking about someone who has not started a game in 3 years. That's what the Chargers were dealing with at right tackle yesterday.
Did you see the visual that came up about his false starts?
Yes. And it wasn't good, Bob. But getting to this, where Dan's going, this was the best second half adjustment that I had seen from Greg Roman since the Denver Bronco game. And take that for whatever it's worth. But Justin started taking 2 3-step drops, getting the ball out faster. The protection was better when he needed it. You started negating that pass rush by utilizing Kamani Vidal in those screen game situations. And it opened everything up. And for at least the third quarter, offense, defense, and special teams looked the way that we have become accustomed to the Chargers seeing, especially through those first 3 wins of the season. You need to find a way to replicate that over 4 quarters of football.
Yeah, and the part that I was getting to, Jake, was you look at the collective group, right? Like we know there's no need beating that horse. Like the offensive line is a joke. I literally tweeted about it in the first half. Like, it's a joke. They got to figure this out. And some of it will be when guys come back, Trey Pipkins, Joe Alt, Sawyer, etc. But what you're seeing is like, this is who we got. And you saw other folks step up, right? Like, especially in the run game. We talked about the tight ends in the passing game. Like 3 tight ends are in the green, pass blocking grades.
Great.
That's great to see, right? Support system. Run blocking. Let's look at the run blocking grades. Guess who the top 2 run blockers were in this game? You mentioned one of them, Hassan Haskins. The other one, Trey Harris. Go back and watch those long runs and look where Trey Harris is. I mean, he is doing the dirty work. Keandre Lambert-Smith, Keenan Allen, hell, Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, all of those guys have better grades than the first offensive lineman for the Chargers. Wide receiver, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver, then Bradley Bozeman at 56.7. That's the best grade for run blocking among all offensive line. 56.7. Austin Deckles, 50.8. Zion Johnson, 41.6. Bobby Hart, 36.8. Mekhi Becton, 34.9. Not great. But you saw the other guys contribute. That's what is important. Like, it takes a team, right? It's not just the 5 offensive linemen. And that's why it was so refreshing to see Tucker Fisk out there, and it showed. It showed in those results. The supporting cast, I think, was what was exciting to me. Like, you saw the Oronde Gadsden connection. You get to see Trey Harris do his thing. Benjamin St. Juste. You get to see Dante Jackson, which, by the way, there was a play in the second half where I think it was Dante Jackson. Unreal. He had like a crazy physical hit on A-Chain when Tua tried throwing it to him with flat for a loss of like 5. Super impressive. The interception by St. Juste on Tua.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Think of beauty. Bad decision by Tua. Got baited into that. But again, talk about it. Interception. Offense goes right down the field. Scores touchdown on the ensuing possession to go up 10. That's a team win, right? And Jim Harbaugh talked about it at the end of the game. But like, we're getting close to being a good team. And I agree with that. Like, it is hard to be a good team when half of your top 10 are on IR or not playing. But you can sustain that. And this is why a lot of people are giving Joe Ortiz crap for the offensive line. Like, I get it. But, dude, this team has depth in places that they did not have in the past, and it would have absolutely crippled them past years. Absolutely crippled them. In the depth, the supporting cast is what has kept this team afloat. Yes, Justin has been a big part of that. Yes, Derwin James has been a big part. Dan Henley, etc. You still got to feel a team. So that was a gutsy win. Again, okay, by the way, weird life we're living in right now. I was getting so much shit, Jake. I don't know if you saw this. On Twitter, I'm getting flamed because like I've become so negative, and I'm the one who's been
I did see this.
Pessimistic, and I'm like, what world are we living in that I
have
have
become the turntables on Chargers Unleashed?
Jeez. But people forget I predicted this team to win this game. Hesitation, sure, but I predicted the team to win.
I don't think people are going to let you off the hook for that one.
But I don't think I should be getting flamed for speaking the truth. Again, long gone are the days where I'm just going to be sucking hopium and hope that it comes through, right? I'm using the eye test. I'm looking at what I've seen.
It's actually refreshing from me personally, and anybody who's been watching this show for the last 5 years. I don't know how many countless times I would come on here and literally be in the position that Dan Wolkenstein is now. And trust me, if you thought Dan Wolkenstein has been negative over the last couple of weeks, go back and watch some of the old shows during the Brandon Staley era. Woo! And listen to me, because I was pissed.
Or Anthony Lynn era, too.
And I was negative. And no matter what good things or silver linings or moral victories that Dan Wolkenstein tried to pull out of me, I wasn't listening to it.
Not today.
Because I was watching, for lack of a better word, dog shit on the field. And watching a head coach that wouldn't make adjustments and ran bad personnel and tried to be a head coach and a defensive coordinator at the same time. And a GM who wouldn't be making the right personnel moves. It sucked. And I was fed up with it. So it is a little bit poetic and a little nice and refreshing to see how the opposite side actually looks from my own eyes. But, you want to put the negative scale up. even now, for as positive as I've become over these last
weird.
couple of years, and this is what Jim Harbaugh does to someone like me, thank God, I still clear Dan by a hell of a lot in terms of the negative category. No doubt about it.
Oh, you do. For sure. For sure. Look, it feels good to see a victory. But also, like, find me the lie. Find me something I said that was not true about the issues with this team. I'm just calling it like it is. Sue me. 29-27. Chargers defeat the Dolphins 4-2 atop the AFC West still. Thank goodness, because all three other folks in the AFC West won as well.
Yep.
Chiefs win. Broncos win. Raiders win. Next voicemail, Jake.
Jake and Dan, my brothers.
Hey, brother. Let's go.
Woo! Okay, the key to success was managing expectations. We knew it was.
I love that. That's going to be like my life motto. The key for my happiness is just manage my
expectations.
Life sucks.
Life sucks.
I'm using this. I'm absolutely using
It's going to
this.
be pretty. That's okay. We're not at our best. Don't expect the best. Had to just stay calm and just keep going.
We were all calm the whole game, right? Everyone was cool, calm, collected. Nobody freaked out. No one had heart attacks. No one took shots.
Yep.
No one blacked out.
Yep.
Yes. We hit that fourth quarter. I was calm, and then I was not calm.
There it is.
Life of a Chargers fan, summed up in one sentence.
Okay, we got towards the end of that fourth quarter. The light had gone out of my life. I was losing control. But
Jesus.
The lights had gone out.
Of my life.
all we had to do was trust the process, try to breathe. Justin, La Didi, Dicker, guys, take the W, take a breath. Let's go.
Dan, we said it, by any means necessary given what you've got right now. Thankfully, the Chargers are one of those teams that have some of the most players on short-term IR right now. If you can just weather the storm and stack some W's, find a way. It doesn't matter. Like we were totally fine on the live show on Saturday saying, look, Justin Herbert could come out and go 10 for 13 for 122 yards, and the Chargers could win 10-7, and I wouldn't care.
Don't care.
And at this point, I really wouldn't care.
6-5 win feels great.
3-2, I don't give a shit. Figure it out, because while it feels good to get a win in dramatic fashion like this, again, it wasn't pretty. There was definitely some inconsistency, some up and down, some things that definitely still need to get fixed. But if you can weather the storm from the standpoint of getting certain guys back, Joe Alt, Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman, who had 2 full practices last week, didn't see him play yesterday, but it's a good sign moving forward for the Colts game that you can get him back. And some of these other guys that you have on short-term IR, you weather the storm, Dan, and you make some adjustments from a coaching standpoint, because you're not just off the hook. It's not just on the players out there. But you need to get back to the type of team that you looked like for those first 3 weeks of the season.
Next voicemail.
Dan, Jake, we fucking did it, boys. Got the win against fucking the Dolphins, and, damn, this team does not look good. It's just another classic Chargers game, dude.
Again, managing expectations. Look at the roster they're fielding right now.
Right.
You can polish a turd, it's still a turd.
Classic game, and our O-line looks just shot. Just absolutely.
It is.
No surprise.
It is. You're down to your 5th string. Like what?
Absolutely shot. Bro. But we'll see. Maybe we can make some trades when Joe Alt gets back. Hopefully things look a lot better.
Man, losing Joe Alt was probably the most back-breaking injury of the season so far. And I don't think it's close. The Khalil Mack one hurts. Like, they all hurt for different reasons. But in terms of, like, what has affected the play-to-play, game-to-game the most, Joe Alt.
Yes.
Herbert played hero ball. Kamani looked awesome. That was another good sign. Seeing Kamani break through in the run game today, that's a really great thing to see. Herbert had to play hero ball at the end of the day, and that's what he did, and we got the dub. But, anyway, shit, boys. But
look, and to your point, Jake, like, it's not going to be pretty.
No.
When you're down this many dudes, like, you're hoping, like, the thing is, previous years, because of the inability to stack a roster with depth, this is kind of how the Chargers team looked all the time. It was like Justin having to play hero ball when folks are injured, but that was like 4/5 of the season. And that was just like standard. Whereas now it's just because half the team's on IR.
Yeah.
And they're still winning. So is it pretty? No. Do they need to fix some stuff? 100%. Like, they got to figure out something for the offensive line because they cannot do that against better teams. But
look, not just the offensive line.
I know. Like, there's a lot
how
here.
you go 17 unanswered points and then give up 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter.
Easy.
I say it. I know everybody loves Jesse Minter, and so do I, but something has happened over the last few weeks where you haven't been able to rely on that defense the way that you did early on in the season. It has now become a little bit of a liability to you, and you need to fix some things. And again, inconsistency up and down, yes. I mean, come on, nobody was expecting Bobby Hart to come off the street starting his first game in 3 years and all of a sudden be an all-pro. Nobody was. Nope. There was no Pipkins. There was no Jamari Sawyer to give you an option at left tackle for something better, or your swing tackle as a right guard. Austin Decolis, probably the best block that he had on the day, Dan, was springing Kamani Vidal for that 40-yard run early in the game. But hey, whatever it takes, I don't care.
Yeah, it was a collective effort, right? Like, looking at PFF for the defensive side, like, look at the tackling. You're noticing a trend here. The tackling: Elijah Molden, Tony Jefferson, Dan Henley, Benjamin St. Juste, Dante Jackson, Tarheeb Still, Cam Hart. Those are all your top tacklers. All of them are secondary, except Dan Henley.
And that's not the best thing to see.
No, you want those to be the linemen. But again, thank goodness you got Elijah and Tony Jefferson back there. Coverage: Benjamin St. Juste had a game. Elite 90 on the dot. Coverage grade. You saw Derwin James miss some tackles, uncharacteristic, miss that interception, which you want to see that come through. I don't know how he didn't get it, to be honest.
RJ Mickens took a bad angle on that Devon Achane run.
Yep. It wasn't great by everybody, but they found a way, right? Found a way. Adafe Owe, I think he had 4 pressures on the game.
4 pressures, sack in the second Dolphins possession.
Yep.
Still not good when it comes to the run defense, but hey, look, he just arrived 4 days ago.
Yep. And
he already generated some pressure that you haven't seen opposite of Tooley in weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that as step 1.
100%. Next voicemail, Jake. Let's wrap this thing up. We got, I think, about 4 left.
Woo! This is Alex from Mature. I just wanted to say what a great win for the Chargers today. I can't believe they put us through the ringer as fans.
You can't believe it? Where have you been?
We've been in the ringer for essentially 25 years.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
I mean, we can go back further. We've been in the ringer since what, the 80s?
But I'm very glad they will get back on the win column. Man, it felt like forever, but I'm glad we'll get some pieces back. And I hope the Chargers do well for the rest of the season. Laters.
Yeah, you're hoping reinforcements. That's a big thing.
And we'll see what happens here over the coming week in terms of the possibility of getting Joe Alt back, getting Khalil Mack back. We don't know, but it would be nice, especially against a Colts team that is really looking pretty damn good right now. And this is where the last 3 weeks going 1-2 just kind of feels a little bit of a downer, because those were games that you really came into considering who the Giants and Commanders respectfully didn't have, that you should have won those games. Now you're getting back into the meat and potatoes of your schedule against better teams, better opponents, with better weapons. You need to find a little bit of your week 1, week 2 form if you're going to have any chance of beating these teams right now.
Yep. But I will say that win yesterday went a long way, because if you didn't win that one, like, you just wasted those first 3 games. You wasted the opportunity. You wasted the 2-game lead in the AFC West. Like, you wasted all of it. But now you came out of it with all the injuries, with all the drama. You still came out of it with 4 wins. And going into the season, you would have taken that. 100% would have taken that. Next voicemail, Jake.
What's going on, guys? Manny here. Just wanted to apologize for last week's tirade. I was a little in my feelings, and just wanted to give a shout out to
We all were in our feelings.
the Chargers. Way to go, Joe Ortiz. Joe Ortiz. What a move. What a trade, man. That trade really came through for us, man. Great game. Chargers are back. Super Bowl bound. Let's go.
We back, baby.
It's amazing, Dan. 1 week, people are calling for you to get fired. The other week, people are singing your praises.
Going to the Super Bowl. There we go. We went from draft talk to Super Bowl.
That's right.
Next voicemail. Again, the number 323-902-7586. Give us a call on the hotline. Try to keep it 30 seconds so we can get as much of you guys in here as possible. Again, we're not able to get to all of them today, so we'll sprinkle some in on the next episode. Next voicemail.
Hey, guys. Crosby here. You laughed at me last week. Yeah, I said we were going to be just fine.
I mean, is that just fine?
Can you blame us? Can you blame us after what we watched over the last 2 weeks?
Define just fine.
Again, I credit anybody who keeps that level of positivity. I have a co-host that used to do that every single week, no matter what, would not look at the real big picture. So anybody who can actually do that, I give credit to you, because it's very hard to look at things like that when we watch the product of this team, not just offensively, defensively, special teams. It's tough. I don't know how you suppress those type of emotions after watching this team the last 2 weeks, but credit to you, sir.
And you laughed, understandably so.
There we go. At least you knew why we were laughing. That works.
But guess what? We did it. Chargers came out. We beat the Dolphins. It was scary there for a minute. I'm not going to lie.
A minute?
I mean, 49 seconds, but yeah.
As soon as the fumble from Ronda Gaston, I'm like, well.
But we did it. And who is Kamani Vidal? Oh, my gosh. That was incredible. Anyway, just wanted to hit you guys up. Say thanks for laughing at me last week. It was good. And who's laughing now? It's me.
Look, you got the laugh.
Yeah, go.
Yes.
Hold up.
Dan and I are not laughing on the outside.
I mean, we're laughing, but
we're laughing.
Happiness, real happiness.
Yes, it's good. It's good. So again, credit where credit is due, sir. Thank you for staying positive for this team.
We need you. We all need you. Next voicemail.
Good morning, boys. It is Victory Monday.
Hell yeah.
Victory Monday. Whew. Almost didn't happen. It's 5:47 a.m.
The waves already on this call is great. Woo! Victory Monday. Almost didn't happen.
Beautiful crisp morning here in Hamul. Wow, what a game. Almost lost my shit the last 2 minutes. Well, that red zone offense is terrible. Red zone defense is terrible before the half and at the end of the game.
It's not good.
McConkey. Good Lord. Gadsden recovering from that fumble, later in the game. This game almost went to 6. Almost doesn't count. It's NFL. Every win is precious. So, again, happy Victory Monday. Chargers win. 4-2, baby. Hold the fuck up. Let's go.
That's right.
4-2 is 4-2 is 4-2. At the end of the season, you'll look back and you'll be like, dang. But Who cares?
Who cares?
Four wins. I think the magic number is 10 for me this season. You got to get to 10.
I still had them winning 11.
No. I'm saying to get to the playoffs, you got to win 10. Yeah, what I'm saying.
No, I get it. And hey, you. It looks like right now that might be completely accurate, Dan. When you see the Bengals going down with Joe Burrow, the current status of the Baltimore Ravens right now, you could be absolutely right, all things considered. So 10 might be the magic number, and 10 might be good enough to get to the playoffs as it stands right now.
But don't forget, look at that schedule.
It's only going to get tougher.
And find me 6 wins that you are confident
with this team right now.
Without just sucking hopium.
2 callers ago, he's going to find it. I guarantee you. Yeah, he's going to find it.
Call back. Oh, man, Jake, that was huge, man. We didn't even talk about the Tua stands versus the Justin Herbert era. You don't need to. You don't need to.
We didn't need to. This is done. You know, it's amazing when Emmanuel Ocho shuts his mouth that you don't have to talk about that anymore. Crazy.
Chargers win 29-27, 4-2 atop the AFC West. Chargers fans in their feelings in a good way this time. Got to see a victory. Got to see some adjustments. Again, not all great. We'll get to more voicemails as we get to the preview show later this week. Anybody else want to call out?
Cycling through it in my head right now, Dan. Taking some quotes here in real time just to give it a little bit more substance because Jim Harbaugh's currently at the podium. He was asked about the run defense. So there's a lot of good, but we'll be working on the explosive plays. When he was then pressed against some of those untouched touchdowns that you saw off the edge, whether it was Kamani Vidal yesterday or those ones against JCM in Washington, those two, he said, yeah, I kind of know we're addressing it. We'll see. But you talk about defense. That's definitely one of the many things that needs to be addressed. And the other thing I was going to address earlier is when the Chargers have turned the ball over, it seems like the very next play is something that's explosive. And the opposing team always finds a way to get points off those turnovers.
Bank on it.
And that drive where Rondé Gaston fumbled the ball, it felt very reminiscent to when Quentin Johnson turned the ball over and the momentum swung back in Washington's favor 2 weeks ago, and it never stopped. Because literally the very first play after the Rondé Gaston fumble, Devon Achane goes to the house, finds the edge, gone. And he found it later in the game, opposite side. There was just no edge containment there. It's something that Jesse Minter has to work on. But I guarantee you there's a guy that wears 52 that could help a lot of those problems.
For sure. Another quote that just came in, apparently this is from Daniel Popper. Jim Harbaugh said he was watching Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning on the flight home from Miami, and it reminded him of Justin Herbert's game-winning throw to Ladd. He's like Ethan Hunt. That was Mission Impossible, referring to that play at the end of the game.
Cut the wire with 3 seconds left. Do it. You can't do it before then.
Yeah, there's one thing just for context and kind of to give a glimpse into what it was like at that stadium. Marcel Louis Jacques, he's a ESPN reporter for the Dolphins. He tweeted this yesterday. This is during the game. That is why Justin Herbert is a superstar. He shakes off the Jalen Phillips sack attempt and hits Ladd McConkey for a 42-yard gain. Dante Trader couldn't make that one-on-one tackle, and now the Chargers are in range for a chip shot field goal to win the game. Think of the steepest roller coaster you've ever seen, and that's basically how fast the mood changed here at Hard Rock Stadium. Again, they just got up 1.
Yeah.
And poetic that Justin did that.
Dan, last thing, a little bit of a blast from the past. If anybody who has been following it, and I'm sure that you have, in terms of Brian Callahan being axed as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans this morning after a putrid start to the season. Dan, the Titans are hiring a very familiar name, one that they should all remember. Senior offensive assistant Mike McCoy has been named as the Tennessee Titans interim head coach.
Friends in low places. You guys shout out to your boy John at the draft party.
No, he's going through too much enough already right now. He doesn't need to hear that. And if he messages me about Mike McCoy, he's asking me for my opinions.
Save him. Save him.
It's like, do you really want to know? You want me to be
That's
honest with you?
That's your response. You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. But it'd be fun to see it, honestly. You know what? I don't have the heart to put him in a worse mood than he already is right now, so I won't do that.
Attaboy. That's a friend. That's a friend. But look, Chargers win. Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey and company pull this thing out by the skin of their teeth. Doesn't matter. Next up, the Colts. Let's see what reinforcements come as we get through this week. We'll see what injury updates will come. You're hoping to see something for Denzel Perryman, maybe. Khalil Mack, maybe. Joe Alt, maybe. Quentin Johnson, maybe. A lot of dudes that could possibly be coming back for reinforcements. So we'll be here to cover it. But until then, happy Victory Monday. Smoke the brisket. Whatever you guys got going today, enjoy it. And we will talk to you next time on Chargers Unleashed.